So, shall we talk about E2 and E3 last year? It feels like maybe we're overdue the hots and nots just a little bit, just like the littlest bit. So, yes, I'm exceptionally late. Hello, and I'm so sorry. If you are new to watching my Hots and Nots of Empire, then this is very confusing. If you're returning, then you're probably sat there like, babe, this was like 8 months ago. Where were you? Let's just say I had a crazy season finale of 2025 with a lot of things happening. Needless to say, January rolled around and I desperately just needed to have quiet and not think about anything. This notes, like I'm literally looking at my notes for E2 and E3 last year, and I wrote them like 6 months ago, at least 6 months ago. So I'm so sorry for the delay. I hope you guys understand. But now that we're in the new year, I'm getting really excited for the new Empire. So the new Empire site that's coming, and just getting back into it because I missed E4 last year. Spoiler alert, there's no Hots and Nots for E4, so this will just be the roundup of the remaining stuff from last year. Also, hello, if you've clicked on this video and you have no idea what's going on, you don't know what Empire is, maybe you're new to LARP. Hi, my name's Rianne, should have started with that really. I am a fan of live action roleplay. I'm a fan of video games. I worked in the video game industry for 9 years now, and all general things nerdy. So if that's your kind of stuff that you enjoy, then hey, welcome. This video is going to be going through my Hots and Nots of event 2 and 3 from Empire, the biggest UK LARP event of 2025. Whew, okay, that is an intro. I feel like we've covered the base a little bit, so grab a cup of tea, grab something nice, just relax. We're just gonna go through my Hots and Nots and have a little story time. We're gonna talk a lot about the game aspects of E2 and E3. So yeah, just get yourself comfy and let's have a chat about E2 and E3. Right, so let's start with the kit hots. Hair pieces. I know a lot of people already wear wigs and hair pieces, but this is new for me in the LARP space. I've done a load of wigs with cosplay and stuff, but a hair piece is such a game changer for me now, and I'm so glad that I just invested in one. I'm not gonna lie, I got like a fairly cheap one from Amazon just because I wanted to play around with whether or not a hair piece was for me. The thing is with hair pieces as opposed to wigs, you really need to be able to attach them to existing hairstyles or to your existing hair, make sure they're secure, they're not going to go anywhere, whereas a wig, it can be a little bit more straightforward in my opinion. I feel like wigs are a little bit easier because you can just pop on a wig cap, pop on the wig, and you're kind of good to go. Some people will, you know, maybe put some wig glue or apply extra like tape or something to keep it secure, but for hair pieces you have to make sure that your hair is ready for it to be inserted in some way. Some are like dead easy because they're attached to like elastics and you just kind of elastic it onto like a ponytail. Mine was a little bit different, so I do the front of my hair in like twists and I use see-through elastic bands to kind of achieve that almost invisible, very like Viking inspired twists and plaits that go back. And instead of letting my hair kind of drop down like I usually do, I'll put it in a tight bun, and this hair piece will then fit onto the bun. It has combs in it, so it will actually stick into the bun that I have. I really enjoy a hairpiece because my hair is quite fine, so it's very thin. It doesn't hold a lot of style or volume, and so to have the extra added style and volume without me having to worry about redoing my hair every morning, very easy for me to just take out in the evening when I want to go to sleep. I keep my hair in as is for like the 3 days. That might sound a bit gross to some people, but how I wear my hair and then make sure that it's washed and cleaned and properly done before the event starts, it will last up until the Sunday, and then I'll rewash my hair on the Sunday and take out all of the plaits and the twists and everything. This is very hard for me to take out and redo every morning anyway, so I just make sure that I try and do it properly so it's clean and it's safe and like my scalp is protected. So if you're thinking about doing a hairpiece, highly recommend. I would do some research into what pieces might work for you and your hair. Like I said, mine was like a cheap, I'll figure out whether it's for me or not. Maybe that's the route you want to go down. I'll link everything in the description anyway of all the products that I mention in the Hots and Knots, or all the things that I mention. So yeah, I can safely say hair pieces are a winner. I think I'm probably going to stick to a hairpiece from now on, just because it makes my life so much easier and it gives like that extra bit of volume that my hair just cannot do. Secondly, I got some lovely new rings. These are not new rings from a specific brand, but actually they're from some of the traders at Empire. Again, if you're new to LARP, Empire specifically is just chock-a-block full of traders, whether that's in character or out of character. There is a section usually, I don't know how it's gonna look exactly in the new location, which we might talk about in a little bit, but there is a trading section for in character that will take real money rather than in character money, and I was able to get a couple of rings for very reasonable price because my character likes a lot of sort of jewelry, a lot of plain sort of gold and jewelry, so it was nice to kind of cover all of my lovely fingers with rings. I don't know if I call my fingers lovely, but you know what I mean. If you're like in a bit of a bind or you can't find things for your character, hey, I recommend going checking out the traders when you get to the site, because especially if you get there on the Thursday and people set up sort of Thursday evening, and they're typically open during the Friday before time in begins on Friday afternoon. So if you're struggling, or if you are looking for inspiration, or maybe you've looked at the vendor list beforehand and something's caught your eye, I do recommend spending some time on the Friday morning or before time in, if you can. Go check out all the traders, because they're all wonderful people. They're all lovely, talented, amazing. Some of them are handcrafted, some of it is secondhand that they bring and help sort of upcycle old clothes that can use a second lease of life on the battlefield. Yeah, definitely recommend. The last hot is gel nails. I know, it's very cosmetic-y this episode for the hots and the kit side. I started getting into gel nails last year. I actually do them myself. These ones aren't. I have a break at the moment. But I got into doing them myself. It's far cheaper to do at home, and I've done my nails for a long time, so I was like, how hard can it be? A little bit of a learning curve, but I managed to get there, and I ended up doing my own nails for E2 and E3, did some gels. They are just so much easier to work with rather than stick-ons. I know gel polish is a little bit damaging to your nails if not applied correctly, and especially if you are like me, you pick at your nails and the skin around your nails, it can be very difficult to not pick when things chip or you know, look a bit wonky, or just you want to fiddle with your hands. But if you can, that would maybe be another recommendation to look at, because they last all weekend and beyond. They don't sort of pop off. You don't have to worry about reapplying glue for stick-on nails. I would imagine in a similar vein, those of you who prefer acrylic over gel, you might also recommend acrylics, especially if you're wanting to extend the nail to have something a bit harder and longer. Gel nails will use your real nails, and whilst the polish will stick for a lot longer, and you will have sort of a longer lasting and sometimes a prettier result, because there's a lot of fun and interesting gel polishes to play with. If you're looking for something longer, like if you're working with a character that maybe has longer nails or talons or something along those lines, you might want to look at the acrylic space, which I'm less familiar with. But if you have strong natural nails or shorter natural nails, then gel nails are something that I would maybe recommend having a look at if you are interested in just giving yourself a little treat. I don't know, for me, when I go to LARP and when I do Empire, they're like my treat weekends, right? They're my weekends away. I'm sometimes with my girls and some of the guys as well. Love you all, but also I do see it as like my girl weekend with my girlfriend sometimes. And it just, anything that makes me feel like it's put together and it's a treat, and I don't know, it's my spa weekend. Empire is a version of my spa weekend where we just get vastly more dirty and sweaty and grotty in the rain. Okay, I only have one knot for the kit section, and that is I feel like I'm desperately due a kit update. I updated my kit last year and I love what I wear, don't get me wrong, I love what I wear, but I've had this image in my head of what I would really aspire my character to look like, and I'm feeling like it's a chunk away, and now I can't stop thinking about it. It's one of the good things about Empire is when you, or any LARP actually, when you build a character, you have so much room to realise what that character is and essentially level up in loads of different forms, not just like the gameplay side of it, but your kit, how your character's represented in the way they look, where you feel like you've become more powerful or you've learnt more about your character and you add more accessories or you change colour palettes or you upgrade and improve things. And right now I'm just feeling like the itch. I'm feeling the kit itch where I really want to upgrade it, but it probably won't be for a little while. Anyway, that's my only knot, so we will move on to camping. Alright, E2 and E3, surprisingly at times, quite sunny, quite muggy, which means it's fairly warm outside, which you would hope for like June and July, however, it do be England. So the first hot I have is a battery powered fan, like a big fan. My friend Erin bought this fan. I will put all the details again in the description and probably put a photo somewhere on the screen. It was such a lifesaver to have in the tent, just to run, especially throughout the day. If you are unlucky enough to have your tent pitched in a position where the sun hits it throughout the entire day, then you will know, unfortunately, it can get really hot and stuffy in whatever tent you have. Having a fan really, really helps, so I definitely recommend the one that we had. Again, I'll put it all in the description. Check it out if that is something that you struggle with. Heat-wise, overheating, tents in the sun, sweatiness. You guys understand. Next hot, which I haven't really spoken a lot about, but I think I've mentioned in previous videos, my medicine bag. People, if you do not have a medicine bag, please do yourself a favour. Get a really small bag with a couple of essentials in a medicine bag for the weekend. Although there are meds on site, and no matter which LARP you go to, I think technically you really should have some medics. Trained professionals on site, just in case. And Empire does. Empire has, I think, a few medical tents, and they have a lot of medics on standby if anyone needs anything. But honestly, do yourself a favour, get yourself a little pouch and have things like a few different plasters, maybe some blister patches, a form of pain relief like ibuprofen or paracetamol, hay fever tablets, because it doesn't matter what season you're in, whether it's hot or cold, hay fever's gonna attack you. It does me. My nose is so sensitive, so hay fever tablets are a must. But just kind of don't overdo it and like fit a load of things in there, but honestly just having like strips of like essential meds, apart from obviously some people might need specific medication all the time because you're on medication, but beyond that I definitely recommend just having a little something that's easy to get to, easy to grab. Doesn't mean you have to walk across a field to try and find somebody who has a plaster, you know, a blister patch, or you've got a headache and you just need to quickly take like a little bit of pain medication. I also actually take, you know, the little Lemsip tablets. I also take those just in case I come down with like anything whilst I'm on the field. And the worst part, if you're camping and you end up catching a cold or you feel really gross, is not being able to sleep. Because it's already a little bit difficult to sleep in tents. You're already sort of cooped up or in sleeping bags, and it's not, you know, it's not your lovely bed that you all probably have at home, I hope. So anything that can make you comfortable to try and get a good night's sleep to fight off whatever it is you've managed to pick up. I will say, I'll caveat this by saying, if you are sick, if you feel sick before you go to a LARP event, please do not go to the LARP event. I know it's gutting. I know. Trust me, I know. Not being able to go to an event because of a reason outside your control is really disappointing. But trust me when I say you will ruin it for a lot of other people. and I know with the best will and intentions, and sometimes people don't know, like, I've had my friend, he got to Empire and she just kind of like, on the day we got there, like, she was like, oh no, I'm feeling a little bit, you know, I'm tired, and then the next day she woke up and she was like, man, something has hit me, I don't know what has hit me on the way here. Like, sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes you're like, I'm tired, you get there and you go, oh god, I'm not tired, and it is what it is. But I'm saying, if you know that you are like properly sick and you're like driving to Empire, hacking your lungs out, snotting everywhere, and you're like, it's fine, please baby, it's not fine, please, we love you but we don't want it. Be safe, stay at home, hydrate. You don't want to be in a tent, trust me. Right, I talk about these guys pretty much every single HOTS video that I do. Rent Bell tents, my first and only love for tents. We did a 5 meter over a 4 meter because we had a couple more people in our particular group. Oh my god, like the 1 meter difference, we'll never go back. We'll never go back. Spoiler alert, E1 this year, we're doing an Emperor. Oh, I cannot tell you how excited I am. I know that probably sounds really sad to some people. I cannot tell you how excited I am to experience an Emperor Rent Bell tents experience. 4 meter tents, by the way, brilliant, wonderful. If you haven't watched my previous videos, Rent Bell tents do a fantastic job. If you are on a tighter budget, or maybe there's only 1 or 2 of you, 4 meter tents will do you brilliantly. We've even done 3 people in a 4 meter tent. It's fine. You won't be able to use it for role playing because it will literally just fit you and you're sleeping and getting ready. But 5 meter, it really does make a difference. So if you are someone who's maybe taller, or perhaps you'd like more room, or maybe you just want to have a little bit more comfort, the 5 meter over 4 meter, I will try and do more often than not if I can. It's just really comfortable, and it just feels nice. It gives you more space. Last hot for the camping, spider repellent spray. Don't know why we didn't think of it before. The spiders were really, I don't know what was happening. I don't know. The bugs were bugging. They truly decided that they wanted to try LARPing last year for whatever reason. I guess that's a really good segue now into the knots. What the fuck were the wasps? I'm sorry, nobody invited the wasps. You didn't pay for a ticket. I like to think of myself as a very inclusive person. I'm happy to have everybody join LARP, not the wasps. No. I think it was, maybe, I can't remember now, so somebody in the comments remind me whether it was E2 or E3, but one of them was like, they were everywhere. I don't know what was cracking off. And it's one of those things where nobody can do anything about it, right? Because they're living creatures. Like, what are you going to do? Politely have a conversation and they'll be like, oh yeah, we'll just go over here. No, they're just there. So we all just had to be like... The amount of serious conversations I had or saw that were completely sidelined because people were dancing around wasps or just there like this, hoping that they'd go away. Man, who knew? Who knew wasps could really impact the immersion? I guess the second knot, which I vaguely mentioned, is I'm not built for the heat, especially because my kit is like all black. I'm a swamp witch when I'm at LARP, okay? I'm in feathers, I'm in black, I'm like head to toe, I've got black paint on my neck, across my eyes. I got sunburn on my shoulders from E3, and it wasn't that hot, but the sun was just so intense that I managed to get sunburn, and part of me was like, oh god, because I'm not great with the sun, and I just about went away in time for my wedding because I had a strapless dress for my wedding, and I was like, this is going real close now. Well, you can see these little straps. Okay, now we come to the game. Oh my goodness. I have so much to talk about, okay? So this is, if you thought I rambled for the first, however long the first part is, just strap in because this is gonna take a while. And can I just say, first of all, to the people who run, create, volunteer, anyone who takes part in Empire, like, my hat is always off to you, because it is such a large and intense event that it takes so many people and moving parts to get it working. And knowing that this was the last time everything was at Dadford campsite, I feel like everybody just really threw themselves in and went, let's give us a good finale. Let's give us a good send-off. I wasn't there for E4, but definitely E2 and E3 felt like a load of things were coming to a head, and people were just going, let's do this. Let's just go out with a bang. Let's talk about astronomancy. I always talk about astronomancy. My character is an astronomancer. I love the astronomancy game. Like, my first hot is just the astronomancy game in general. I have found it like difficult over the years, especially starting new into the game, to kind of get into astronomancy, because it has been quite niche, and I think I've spoken about that before in a previous video, where I struggled trying to find opportunities because it was kind of a niche part of the universe. There are only a smaller group of people who are very interested and dedicated into astronomancy, I think, compared to, like, if you talk about you know, fighting and politics, and there are loads of people that are involved with like this sort of big overarching sweeping things, and astronomancy's always been like a little bit more quieter by comparison. But I just feel like I can't remember, there's a person who takes care of all the astronomancy stuff, and I can't remember your name, and I'm so sorry. Smashing it, babe. Absolutely smashing it. The amount of opportunities that come out, the amount of just fun instances, the amount of shenanigans that we just encounter as astronomancers, hilarious, brilliant, fantastic. Harrowing at times, in character, out of character, love it. It's so good, and I'm loving the fact that there's some crossover at the moment, or was. I wasn't there for E4, and I've kind of gone dark intentionally to make sure that when I come back, like, the roleplay is authentic enough, so as if my character was not there and will come back and discover what's happened. But my goodness, E2 and E3 had so much fun doing astronomancy stuff. So if you're the person who organises and looks after the astronomancy game, I love you. Please continue. You're doing a fantastic job. Speaking of which, the Claw Saga. Okay, so I tend to not go into too much detail in gameplay in these videos. I try and keep it quite light. One, because I'd be here all day. Two, because I kind of prefer when people interact on the field rather than learn a load of stuff out and then bring all that knowledge in. It's always more fun to kind of do it in the moment and whilst you're playing the game. However, it's also fun to talk about because it hypes people up. It kind of maybe draws a little bit of attention to things that people didn't know existed because it's such a vast game. So let's talk a little bit about the Claw Saga. There was, again, I could be really late to the party here, so caveat everything with, unless it got resolved in E4, there was a cult, the Claw cult, and that is like an overarching plot in Empire. It's to do with the constellation of the Claw. It was also to do with Summersuak, which is a place in Wintermark, which is my nation, although my character's not from Summersuak. So there was like a lot of crossover. The cult was then kind of, no pun intended, bleeding into other facets of the game, and so it really drew that sort of astronomancy through into like a main plot, what felt like a main plot rather than like a niche plot like I was talking about. And that was really fun, and especially curses, because the Claw cult love to curse people. That was so fun. I think curses are a really fun and easy way to get people invested in the game and give them role-playing opportunities. I think for some people they might look at curses and go, no, don't want to be cursed, hate curses, I know exactly how I want my weekend to go, or I have plans this weekend. But for me, I'm like, give my character curveballs. Like, curse me up, baby. I want to be in the moment. I want to like, yes and, you know? I want to improv. Give me things to bounce off of, because to me that creates the most fun and unique opportunities. Is not coming in and going, yes, I have exactly everything that I want to do this weekend. It's I have a plan this weekend, but baby, people have other plans for you. So that is super fun. The Claw Saga is really fun. I don't know what has come of it, again, intentionally. So I'm looking forward to learning what happened in E4, what might continue to happen in E1. We'll see. But yeah, it was very, very good fun last year. I actually ran an astronomancy mysticism workshop last year as well, and that was part of the School of Mysticism in Wintermark. Shout out to the school and Shaman. Honestly, Shaman as a character has been a point of contact like throughout my entire Empire journey, and the player of the Shaman, again, big love to you, because they always just like smash it with the role play, give a load of people opportunities to just be weird and magical and dangerous, and it's just so much fun. So I ended up running like a little astronomancy workshop for the Mystics in Wintermark, and that was just really fun. It was just really low-key. It wasn't like a high stakes thing. Everybody gathered around the fire. We did like some light role playing. I went through a couple of things about astronomancy, and people were just so nice and so kind, because sometimes you do these things, you kind of put yourself out there, you don't know how it's going to be received, and everybody's usually lovely and welcoming and nice, but it was so lovely afterwards to have people come up and say they learnt a lot, thank you so much for doing it. So that was like a lovely moment for me, and it just felt really nice. Nice is a boring word, but it just felt really nice. Okay, there was the wedding of the year last year. It wasn't mine. It was Serena and Estrella. Serenus and Estrella got married, and their wedding was wild. Their wedding was wild. This was all in character, by the way, so there are in-character weddings. If you're new, there are in-character weddings where people in character as their characters get married. However, these two people are astronomancers, and they're astronomancers that are very heavily involved in the weirdest parts of astronomancy. And so they had various interesting characters turn up to their wedding, which was hilarious. I was like honoured enough to be a part of their wedding and gave them some like skein readings for their wedding ceremony. A tulpa turned up, which is basically a physical manifestation of a star, and they looked exactly like Serenus, and then that's fake Serenus wanted to get married. Real Serenus was like, I'm the one getting married, and it all went a bit weird, and the fake Serenus got married to another person, and then the real wedding happened, and then someone was cursed and then ended up walking in and being like angry for a moment, then walked away. There were Eternals that turned up to the wedding. It was honestly bonkers. Best wedding I've been to. Fantastic. I wasn't able to stay for like the buffet afterwards, but the whole wedding in general, 10 out of 10. No notes. Get married again. Just do it again just to see what happens. Okay, next thing was the Skein of Years, which is a spell, or a, not a spell, the other word for it, but a ritual spell. Or, I've never cast a Skein of Years before, and to do with the claw, again, I'm trying not to be completely breaking immersion and plot in the game, but to do with the claw, we got to a point where it was recommended to do a Skein of Years on a particular item. So we got the item, and me and this lovely person, whose name I've completely forgotten, I'm so sorry, they're also in Wintermark, we went and sought out the person who is apparently the best at the Skein of Years. And now I can confirm they are bloody fantastic at the Skein of Years. Grelka, the Archmage of Day. Holy moly, crazy bit of role playing, okay? If you don't know what the Skein of Years is, basically you can take an item and that item will have like memories, and you go through and you relive like the memories of what that item did. It was gory, it was bloody, it was devastating, and me and this other person were role playing out everything that Grelka was like narrating through. It was so fantastic. Again, the player for Grelka, I don't know if you're watching, but So bloody good. Such a good bit of role playing. Was not anticipating to role play at all in that moment, but it was just so good. I wish I could tell you more, but I really don't want to spoil like the in-game stuff. It was just, I did not anticipate my Saturday morning role playing having my throat slit and like coming out of it being completely harrowed and, you know, devastated. It was wild. It was so good. Moving on from that, the Jackdaw's birthday party. Oh my gosh! Fire dancing? What? My lovely friend Erin, who plays Kolnir, she got wrapped up in a couple of things in Varushka and also over at the Jackdaws, and ended up being commissioned and drawing all of the Jackdaws portraits, which took us such a long time in real life. She was like, ah! And she did it, and they're amazing, and she's so talented. And they were like, oh, birthday party is at so-and-so, and so she was like, come with me, there's gonna be like a fire show, it's gonna be crazy. Oh my goodness. Bearing in mind the fire show is made up of people at Empire. So it's not like the organisers of Empire, PD, have gone, we're gonna hire in a load of fire dancers. It's like, no, here is a load of people who already come to Empire, who already know how to like fire dance or juggle with fire or breathe fire, and obviously all the health and safety things get, you know, they have to be done beforehand. Insane show. Insane. Like the kind of show that you would pay money for. Like, as in, you specifically go to pay money for that particular show because they had everything. Swords, swinging ball things, hoops, juggling things, breathing things. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So incredibly good. I think it's a testament to just how wonderfully brilliant, diverse all these people are at Empire. Like, there's so many multifaceted, talented people where you can go for a weekend, roleplay on a field, eat things, drink mead, meet people, go watch a raunchy play, and then watch fire breathing and dancing on a Saturday night. I'm sorry. It's amazing. I just think Empire is an experience. Like, even if you are sat there going, oh, well, I've looked at Empire, I'm not like comfortable role-playing, or I'm not comfortable fighting. Honestly, it's the kind of weekend where you could just kind of be yourself, get a nice little costume. You don't have to go out like all out and break the bank or do anything intricate, but just kind of be there and experience things and look around, talk to people, find out what's going on, attend tea parties, watch fire breathers, go have a mead in one of the local taverns. It's just such an experience that never fails to delight me. So that was definitely like a big highlight of last year, was watching that performance because it was insane. Okay, I have two more. One, I've got to shout out Dragon's Watch. They are my guys. Dragon's Watch are a group of people in Wintermark that I am a part of, and I'm very proud to be a part of, and have been since last year. I was sworn in to the hall, because in Wintermark we have halls, so they are my hall. And I remember meeting them for the first time, and it was E1 2020. Oh gosh, how many years have I been doing this now? It's not that long, but now I'm like, oh gosh, yeah. E1 or E2 2024, I think, so a couple of years ago. And I remember being in the out of character section, and I think it was Tom, sorry. They're gonna be watching this like, what are you on about? I think it was Tom who went, hey, I've actually seen one of your videos before, and this is our first time. And then just throughout that weekend, myself and the rest of Dragon's Watch that was there at that particular weekend, it was peeing it down. It was like torrential weather, mud everywhere, and we ended up like just going out on an adventure like throughout all of Empire. And afterwards it was like, these are really fun people. Like, you know when you just click with people and you go, yeah, they're my kind of people. Had a great time. And then that turned into me inviting some of my other friends, and they clicked with them. And then now most of us are in a hall together, and our WhatsApp chat is popping off on the daily. And I just, if you're watching, I know it's really sappy, but I just want to say thank you for being friends, because you're a great group of people and I have a lot of fun with you, and thank you for letting me join your hall. And you're smelly. There you go, that balances it out. Empire is such a wonderful place to meet people, and it's very rare that you meet people who are unpalatable. You know, either they're mean or just, you know, not nice to be around. Most, I would probably say 99% of Empire are just people wanting to have a good time, and they're super friendly. And so it's lovely to find people to just hang out with and have fun with. So yeah, big up Dragon's March. They're gonna proper rag me for that, for being sentimental. One more thing, and it's calling out one particular person who I didn't get to speak a lot to. It was probably one of my favourite in-character interactions of the entire year. Their name is Fern from Goat's Bridge in the Marches. So if you play Fern, I honestly, I just want to tell this story because it was just so funny. The long story short was I was looking for particular night mages to do a particular thing, and I'd been recommended to go to marches and speak to marches about da-da-da-da. So I spoke to a couple of the marches, and they were like, oh, if you're wanting night mages, you should speak to Fern. They're at Goat's Bridge. I'll take you there. And we're all in character, like, so I'm playing my character Celine. She's, you know, very yes, I'm a night mage. I'm very, you know, I'm serious. I have authority. I am very, you know, whatever. Not me. And we were walking down this stretch of the marches, and there was this like little black lump on the floor of just like what looked like a big crow. It was like a black cape and like a little crow's head coming out of the cape. So it just looked like this chunky crow on the floor. And then one of the people I was walking with were like, Fern! There she is. And then this little like blob on the floor just looked up, and this person was underneath it, and then just got up and like started walking towards us. The way that the people I was with described Fern, I think was, don't quote me on this, was something along the lines of, you'll know Fern when you see them. They're always doing weird night magic shit. And then they're on the floor as a crow. Me telling the story isn't doing it nearly as much justice, but I appreciate just being a weird little guy. So Fern, you really made my day that day. Okay, we're coming to the end, finally. We're gonna address a couple of knots. Don't worry, there aren't many, and there's nothing controversial. I always try not to do anything controversial. If anything, I try to be positive criticism, not like, oh, this was terrible, I hate this. It's like, this thing didn't work, this thing wasn't great, maybe next time, da 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 da. So, this is more funny than frustrating, to be honest. There was an event on the Friday night, I want to say. One of the events that I wanted to go to at, I can't remember whether it was E2 or E3, was an evening conjunction. Basically, what happens is a load of people turn up to this particular part of the map, of the site, and it was quite late, like very, very late. It was something like nearer midnight, and time out on a Friday or a Saturday is typically, what, 1 a.m? If I remember correctly, about 1 a.m. And so we got there very, very late, and it was all very serious. It was like a very serious thing that was happening. People were being sent through the Sentinel Gate to go parley with the Falconer, who's the leader of the Claw cult, and they've been trying very hard to either recruit people or kill people during that event, and everybody's tensions were on edge. I had a load of Dragon's Watch with me because we were ready to fight, just in case people came back through the gate and wanted to fight. And we were all waiting there. These people went out, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting. and the tensions were high. The moon was like full and the sky was clear, by the way. So it was such a good energy and atmosphere, and it just kept rising and rising and rising. And then there were about 5 figures dressed in white that kind of walked past the gate, and one of them turned to walk out the gate, and we're thinking, oh no, what's happened? They're about to tell us that they're all dead or something. And they walked towards the gate, looked at us and went, oh no, wrong way, and walked back, and then carried on walking away. And all of us were there like, okay, ignore that, it's fine. And then a ref comes through and we're like, oh gosh, what's happened? And again, we're expecting, none of them made it, something happened, they're all dead. And they came through and they went, really sorry guys, it's officially timeout, so we can't do any more roleplay. And everybody who was tense in character went, oh, like we immediately all dropped character like, oh, okay. So it was unfortunate. I think what had happened is whatever happened in this time slot before our thing happened maybe ran over, or the thing that we were doing or waiting for went on longer than people thought. And so timing wise, it was so close as well. It was like just a couple of minutes past 1 a.m. But they have to be strict, because if they do it for one, they kind of have to do it for other people, and then it gets a bit hairy, so they do keep it quite strict, and I completely understand that. But it was funny in some ways. And so what happened was the ref came out and they said, look, unfortunately it is timeout, so what we're going to do is we're going to release them. If you stay here, what we'll do is in character they can describe what happened, but we can't do anything like cast spells to check for curses, cure people. So what would happen is from the moment time in began the day after, that's when that would all happen. So I think for a lot of people, they organised to meet back at that place bang on time in, or to meet somewhere else so they could continue role playing as if it's continuous from the night before. But it was unfortunate, but it was kind of funny, especially the one person who was playing an NPC who forgot where they were going and then accidentally went out and walked towards a massive group of us, which is kind of funny. But hey ho, it happens. It made for a good story. Last but not least, guys, goodbye to Dadford Campsite. My goodness. I mean, I've only been doing Empire and LARP since 2022, 2023? What was it? Yeah, it must be 2023. And it's kind of iconic. LARP has such a way of sticking with you that even after the first event, which was E4 2023, that was it, I had dreams over the 6-month period. Even though I'd only been once, I had vivid dreams of that campsite until I was able to go back in E1 2024. And it's been there a very, very, very long time. I think for a lot of people, it holds a lot of memories, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of feelings. I am very excited, personally, to see what's going to happen next now that Empire has a permanent campsite. I am very much optimistic. I know that there are some criticisms about, you know, how it's fresh, it's a fresh start. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be, you know, bumps on the road. Things aren't going to go perfect the first time. I'm fully expecting E1 to be a little bit, you know, rough around the edges. And honestly, I'm fine with that because we're starting a new chapter. And I'm really excited to see where we're going, especially now that we have, I say we, I'm not doing anything. The guys at PD are doing all the work. I just turn up and have a good time. I'm just so excited to see what they're doing. I'm so excited to see what they're going to do now that they have all of that land for themselves and kind of can go carte blanche on things, you know, building up sets, building all the planting all the trees, right? I've heard that they're planting a lot, or have already planted a lot of trees, having better access to, you know, facilities and Wi-Fi, and just being able to be in control of all of that, I think makes a lot of sense. But I know it's just going to take a lot of time. I think it is still sad to say goodbye to Dadford. I do know that I believe another LARP event is taking over that campsite, so if you're very nostalgic for that campsite, I believe it's Menhir's Fate that is now going to go to Dadford campsite. So if that's something that is very important to you because of the location, which is totally understandable, then maybe that is a viable option for you to try out. I've not personally tried it. I know a fair few people have tried it and have enjoyed it. And it is sad to say goodbye, but I am looking forward to the future. And I guess on that note, that wraps up my hots and nots for E2 and E3 of 2025. Did I say 2025 in the beginning? I might have said 2024. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching and just being patient. I know I've been very much AFK over the past few months. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be doing more things. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next on this channel in particular. I'm kind of taking a break from a couple of things that are game dev related, again just because I'm a little bit burnt out and I'm cracking on with other things right now, but I'm excited to see what's happening in 2026. It's 2026 now, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Let me know if there's anything in particular you guys want to see next, whether it's a video or, I don't know, a particular topic that you want me to go over and discuss. I have a lot of thoughts and ideas for Empire related videos, obviously with the new campsite coming. I would love to do a video for new beginners because I think with a new campsite comes new opportunity for people to go, hey, it's a new campsite, let's try it, let's try LARP. So I did want to do like a beginner's guide for 2026. So let me know if that's something you're interested in or something that you think would be fun to watch. Anyway, I'm gonna head off now and I will speak to you next time. Bye!